everyone, and welcome to Brave Story Time. My name is Lisa Karasek, and I am the community manager for Brave Healer Productions. I'm here today with Kelvin Young, who's going to be reading his chapter. Oh, I forgot to pull it up. He's going to be reading his chapter that is titled From Drug Addict to Sound Healer, A Journey of Transformation. And this is from the book Find Your Voice, Save Your Life, volume number 4.
Yes.
So, Kelvin, how did you come to be in this book?
It's been a journey. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Lisa, for the opportunity to be here with you. And thank you all of y'all for tuning in. And it's a really an honor and a pleasure to share a little bit about my experience, strength, and hope to each and every one of you. And to answer your question, it's been a lifelong journey, going through those experiences with addiction, mental health challenges in prison. It was a big learning lesson for me. And I'm honored to share this, my journey with each and every one of you, and have an opportunity to work with you, Lisa, and to work with Laura, and to be part of this book project, and to really share my story. It's been amazing, and have an opportunity to share it with different people from all walks of life throughout the world through this book. It's just been heartwarming. It's been touching, and it's just been an honor to be a part of this project. So again, thank you so much. Thank you, Laura, and thank all of you for tuning in. Hope you're muted.
Thank you. How did you come to be in Find Your Voice, Save Your Life?
I connected with one of my colleagues, Jacqueline Kane. She reached out and she asked me to if I was interested in being a part of this project. And so I was like, yeah. Then she gave me some information about it, and I read about it, and it sounded like something I really, really wanted to do because I wanted to share my message. I wanted to share my story, and being a part of this book project to really connect with other men, that have, their own perspective, their own stories, and be a part of it, and to share our unique perspective to other people. It was amazing, and I'm grateful for Jacqueline for the opportunity, for connecting us to the different people to be a part of this book.
Excuse me, wonderful. It is such an important message, and it really does need to get out.
Yes.
That community is so, I want to say, both prevalent and necessary. So thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for,
Yes.
thank you for bringing your message to everyone, to the community and to the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So that answers, I believe, the next question, but if please feel free to elaborate more. Why did you want to write this chapter?
Yeah, it just like I mentioned, it's just having this story that was inside of me, having this lived experience. There's so many people that's dealing with addiction issues. There's like over 23 million people in the United States alone that's battling with addiction. So the story must be told. And oftentimes in the media, in our communities, in our societies, in our neighborhoods, we hear about addiction. We hear about the opioid epidemic. We hear about people overdosing. We hear about our loved ones passing away because of their addiction to alcohol or any other drug. But there is another side of addiction, which is recovery. And there's over 24 million people that's in long-term recovery from alcohol and other drugs in the United States alone. And I'm honored to be one of them. So that's why my story needs to be told, because a lot of people are struggling with addiction issues. A lot of people are struggling with alcohol, with marijuana, with cocaine, with heroin, and other opioids that I consumed for many, many years. So I believe people need to see that there is hope in recovery, that people have experiences with substance use disorder can heal and can recover.
Absolutely.
Yes.
How did it feel writing the
Mhm.
chapter?
It was emotional because I had to go back to, some times where it was very rough and very emotional, it was very intense, my active addiction, and even being incarcerated, and think about, the struggles that I experienced being in prison. But also it was a divine intervention for me to be incarcerated as well too. So being, thinking about all those intense moments I've been in and how it was like a catalyst for me to be the man that I am today. But it did bring up a lot of emotions right in this book. It brought up a lot of feelings. But it also showed me that, this is where I was. This was the man I was, a few years ago, and this is the man that I am today. So it also brought tears of joy as well too. It was like, okay, yes, I've done these things. This is part of the human experience. But people can heal, people can recover, particularly black men. We can, there's a lot of stereotypes about black men as well too. So really, being able to kind of that perspective and how we can change. We can, come from a background, a rough challenges in our lives, and to really overcome those challenges and to move forward. But it was very, very intense writing this book, but story, that message to so many other people.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. That last sentence or two, if you can, if you remember what you said, maybe you try to repeat.
Mm.
You cut out just a little bit. I missed the last like sentence or two.
Okay. Well, I'm
Sorry.
so grateful that, yeah, it's okay. I'm just so happy that I was able to really go through those experiences because I was able to learn from them and grow from them as well too, and be able to share my story to different people that's going through similar experiences. It became a passion of mine. So I'm so happy that I was able to go back there and to kind of reminisce about the painful situations I've been in, but able to come out on the other side and share that with others.
And I'm in volume one of that series, and I do understand the theme behind the series is, like how you use that, what you learned from the experience, how you use it now to help yourself and others, more importantly, others. And so, what a beautiful transformation. Good for you.
Mhm.
I honor
Thank
and I
you.
witness you, congratulate you. I'm
Yes.
proud of you.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank
you.
you.
So, yeah, such an important it's more than just a message. It's such an important journey, and I love how you spoke to turning it into something positive and making something good of it all for others to see and recognize
Yeah,
and utilize. So again, thank you.
absolutely. Yeah, that's all about finding our voice. We could turn our mess into a message and find our voice and share it with others. And that's the whole purpose of this book.
Yes, I love it. Well, Calvin, if you feel ready, you ready to
Yes,
read your chapter?
absolutely.
Ready?
Yes.
Hats
Okay.
off to you.
All right. Thank you. From Drug Addict to Sound Healer, A Journey of Transformation by Kelvin Young. I spent a life addicted to alcohol and other drugs and eventually became a certified sound healer. My life had its difficulties. I struggled with cocaine, heroin, marijuana, prescription opioids, and alcohol. Like many of us, I had some emotional and mental health issues, but I tried to solve my problems by using alcohol and other drugs. These addictions brought with them immense depression and anxiety. I dealt with drug addiction, depression, and anxiety for years. I spent a life not worth living before recovery. I felt emotionally bankrupt. The years of letting myself and others down, the horrible crimes I committed, and the physical pain I caused to the people who loved me the most took a heavy toll on my heart. I have a few happy memories from that period of my life. I got involved in stealing, robbing people, selling drugs, and living a very fast criminal lifestyle. I never had a healthy romantic relationship. I was physically and verbally abusive. I was involved in few automobile accidents and have been arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol and other drugs. I spent over 20 years fighting addiction, but you will be here all day if I start telling you every story of hardship. Going to prison changed my life forever. I was sentenced to 5 years, suspended after 26 months with 4 years probation. I call that time a blessing in disguise and divine intervention. It was as if the universe intervened. I was taken out of my comfort zone, a life of addiction, and put into prison, where I had the opportunity to change my life. A few programs are provided to incarcerated men and women willing to make positive changes within themselves. The most helpful program for me was the Tier 3 drug treatment program in prison. That program taught me how the drugs I took affected me and how my mind and body were under the direct influence because of these drugs. I learned about substance use disorder and holistic modalities to heal myself. My life changing practice was meditation. I remember sitting in the lotus position with other inmates and having so many thoughts in my head. I heard the snickerings from other inmates because we were practicing meditation. But I closed my eyes and focused on the common words from the meditation instructor who was serving a 20-year prison sentence. When I started to meditate, I was able to find a sense of peace within myself. I felt a sense of calmness, even being in a very hostile and restrictive environment, such as prison. With the programs, I was able to find out how to help myself become a better person. My beautiful daughter, Tatiana, motivated me to change my life and become who I am today. When she came to visit me, I was still able to see the twinkle in my daughter's eye for her dad. She wanted to tell me everything that was going on in her life. She inspired me to become the man she wanted as her father, a man she could look up to. That's what I needed to change my destiny, a daughter's love for her father. When I look back, I find the root causes of my problems were in my childhood. I was kept back in kindergarten. I didn't feel good enough. I dealt with a lot of self esteem, self hatred, and self worth issues. I endured emotional trauma, which caused me emotional pain throughout my adolescent, teenage, and adult years. I started using drugs and alcohol to cope with it. They gave me relief. The escape I found in these substances helped me overcome the chronic stress in my mind and body. My stress used to get temporary relief from alcohol, cocaine, marijuana, heroin, and prescription opioids. There was not only stress, but intense sadness and feelings of anxiety. But there were also always negative emotions and consequences. Meditation is collectively a set of practices that encourage focus, attention, and heightened state of awareness. It is a consciousness changing technique, and it has been proven to help the person's psychological well being for many, many years. Meditation changed my life. Inside the prison, I started talking to, I started taking the programs of meditation, yoga, and sound healing. I became self aware and better person due to these holistic modalities. I started practicing expressive arts like journaling and poetry. Before beginning the practice of meditation and other holistic practices, I had a lot of misconceptions about them. I used to think meditation was for only privilege for I used to think that meditation was practiced by Buddhists and hippies and that yoga was only for wealthy privileged white women because of how yoga is marketed in the United States. As a black man, a person of color, I didn't think these holistic practices were for me. Therefore, I never even tried to implement them. Adopting that mindset was the best thing that happened to me. I changed how I lived my life. I was heading to an early grave with the way I was living. My way of life before divine intervention was out of control. I had a pessimistic attitude, a huge chip on my shoulder, the reckless way I drove, the numerous fights I got into, and the altercation with the police were a direct reflection of that. I was not able to see the vicious cycle I was stuck in. I would have kept going on that same addicted lifestyle if it was not for counseling, my supportive family, and sober friends. This showed me the right path in life. These holistic practices allow me to see things differently. I have learned how to creatively express my emotions I've suppressed for many years under alcohol and other drugs through journaling and poetry. Meditating with sound allowed me to go within, see and feel all my feelings, the shame, the guilt, the things that often keep people like myself in a very vicious cycle of addiction. I moved past that shame and guilt and realized my true essence as a spiritual human being. I realized that true nature of humanity is unconditional agape love. The deeper I learn about the healing power of sound, the more I realize that love is more than a human emotion. I understand that love is a vibration, a frequency, and a natural state of being. Oftentimes, our past traumas, social conditioning, our culture, and programming makes us feel disconnected to the inner love that dwells in us. Sound healing meditation connected me back to this truth. I believe healing is about understanding our wholeness. We are more than our physical bodies. We have a mental, emotional, and a spiritual aspects that makes up the totality of who we truly are. Life does not have any meaning until we look into ourselves. Most of the people in our modern day society don't even know their true potential, and some just spend their life like robots. People live with their traumas without even trying to heal or recover. Healing with practices like sound healing, meditation, and yoga shift our states of consciousness. I shifted the way I see myself, the world, and the people in it. Sound healing literally transformed my life. Once I was released from prison, I dove deep into sound healing and went to get certified in a practice that saved my life. I'm extremely passionate about introducing as many people as I can to the transformative powers of sound. My intention is to make sound healing mainstream within our culture that deals with so many challenges, both individually and collectively. Being experienced myself, I know how many people can be helped with the healing power of sound. And my intention is to offer sound healing to as many people as possible. Today, I am a certified sound healer and a recovery support specialist. I facilitate sound healing sessions for people from different walks of life. I provide peer support to people to help overcome mental health, addiction, and trauma related issues. I understand people. I know many others face problems I once faced. I was an addict, a thief, a criminal, and an unhealthy person. I helped myself out of the situation, and now I help others get out of their hellhole. I provide sound healing and peer recovery coaching sessions to help transform their lives to work best for them. I am a person who has not used alcohol or any other drug since March 6, 2009. I have been sober and haven't used any sort of substances to cope with my emotional issues. I am a survivor. Human beings are very, very resilient. Now I help others recover from their addiction issues through sound healing. I would like to end by sharing a poem I wrote while in prison after practicing meditation with sound, which was the catalyst for my transformation. Even this poem in the chapter helped one single person. My purpose is done. Eyes of a silent sun. Look into my eyes and tell me what you see. Is it a lost soul with no control, trying to be free? As I look into the mirror and stare into my eyes, I see all the anger and self hate, hypocrisy and lies. I see resentment, frustration, embarrassment, and pain. I see jail bars and fancy cars as I cruise down memory lane. I see the feelings I repressed going back to. I need to let go of those feelings. I would if I could. I see the hurt that I caused to the ones I love the most. I see my brother on his wedding day as we celebrate with a toast. I see the good and bad times that I experienced in my life, but it's so hard to let go of all that bitterness and strife. There's a sense of sadness when you look into my eyes, like the ones you see when a close relative dies. But this death is not physical. It has to do with the soul. It's that morbid feeling we get when our spiritual energy is low. It's like nothing matters anymore, like that day when I was fired, feeling depressed and weak. Can't sleep, but I'm so tired. I'm tired of all the pain, the hurt, and the rain from that cloud that keeps following me. Sometimes I think I'm insane. But when I look out the window and see the beauty of the lake, it reminds me of good times, like when I was 9 and things were fine. And with the sunrise, I can feel the presence of the Creator. When I look out my window, I see me in the beauty of nature. I'm a part of God's creation, nature, and humanity. The loving spirit that's in Jesus is also in me. So I learned to love myself and others just for who we are. And I learned all about this love looking out my window with jail bars. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Mm, thank you.
What a wonderful poem.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to ask you once again, how did it
Mhm.
feel just now to read your whole story and chapter to us today?
Again, it just brought back so many memories. It took me back on that journey. I felt the emotions arising within me because emotions are energy that needs to move. So I allow those emotions to rise up within me, those feelings of just anxiety or just tension or just stress, but also feelings of accomplishment, happiness, and joy. And just knowing that the human spirit is very, very resilient. So I feel this, this sensation within my stomach, feeling the sensations within my body, but also the joy, that I feel within my heart as well too. That people can recover, and people do recover all the time. And just my own personal journey, it just, I could say that I'm very proud of the choices I made in my life and the direction I'm going. And I'm just grateful for that, humbly grateful for that.
I believe that.
Mm.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Well,
Is
thank you for
there
having me.
any last thing that you want to say in general, just about any part of it? It doesn't necessarily have to be about your chapter, but about your journey, about any of this. Is there any, excuse me, departing words that you want to offer?
Absolutely. I just want to encourage all of us to do the things, the practices that help us to nourish ourselves, to take care of ourselves, whatever that may look like for us, whether it's sound healing, whether it's practicing yoga or meditation, or spending quality time out in nature. I think nature is one of the most underutilized antidepressants out there. But whatever practice we have, I encourage all of us to continue to nourish ourselves in the way that works best, because I believe that self care is a form of self love. And when we do the things that honor and nurture ourselves in a holistic way, meaning mentally, emotionally, spiritually, as well as physically, is a true act of self love. Because when we take this time out to relieve stress, to find that inner peace and balance, we can rationally respond to situations instead of emotionally reacting to them. And I know when I emotionally react to things, I say things and I do things that, I later regret. But when we're less stressed and more relaxed, we think clearly, make better decisions and choices that resonate with our greater good. We're able to strengthen our immune systems, decrease our heart rate and our blood pressure. We gain more mental clarity and insight. We're also able to tap into the love, the peace, the happiness, the joy that dwells inside of each and every one of our hearts. All we need to do is take this time out and just be whatever practice we have, whether it's meditating, whether it's sound healing, whether it's yoga, knowing that that inner peace and the unconditional agape love, it truly is our natural state of being. Again, thank you so much, Lisa, for this opportunity to spend this time with you, to share my story, my heart with all of you. I really, really appreciate it.
I absolutely believe that. Fist bump. Yeah.
Yes. There you go.
Absolutely. There you go. Thank you so much. What a wonderful, wonderful message. And you're absolutely right. It's so important to do all of these things. So thank you
Yes.
for, your sharing your story and your
Mhm.
gift and
Thank you.
the knowledge that you have.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So if you'd like to connect with Kelvin, you can do so in the notes below. I'm going to be putting all of Kelvin's information, how to find him, where to find him, how to find the book, if you want to read the chapter for yourself over and over again, all that good stuff. The book is full of wonderful, wonderful stories that
Mhm.
are very touching and inspirational. So all of the information can be found in the notes below the video here. Please remember to like and subscribe the Brave Healer Productions channel, and we'll see you next time at Brave Storytime. Again, my name is Lisa Karasek, here today with author Kelvin Young. Thank you. See you, everyone.